Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Pharma Focus. I hope you guys are doing really great, and I'm back with another video. And the video is going to be about overdose in context to pharmacovigilance. So let's first discuss what the term overdose means. So if we talk in the layman terms, then if we separate these two words, over and dose, then dose is particularly the specific amount of medicine that a person is supposed to take at a particular time or within a given period of time. And when we combine these two terms, that is overdose, then it simply implies that the person is taking more than the recommended or the prescribed amount of medicinal product or the drug. Now, if we talk about the various types of it, it includes accidental, unintentional, deliberate, or intentional. And to understand what overdose means, we need to explore various definitions in depth. So let's first do that. Alright, so we have recommended dose. Now, what this recommended dose is the dose of a medicinal product that is officially approved and stated in the product label, example, the product monograph or SMPC. So, the product label here and the officially approved label here states this is the kind of RSI, that is the reference safety information, which is of a great significance when we talk about drug safety and pharmacovigilance. I'll be making a separate video on the same, but just for the information, a product label, the product monograph or SMPC, also the reference safety information, these all are the same thing, and it is basically an official list of all the known and the expected side effects of a medicine. So this helps to decide whether the side effect is expected or unexpected. When we go deep into drug safety, then we look into these measures of adverse event. The reported adverse event is expected or unexpected. So it is determined based on the clinical trial evidence. Of course, when we do a clinical trial for a particular drug, then we get a set of adverse events during that, and these are the clinical trial evidence. Then we have the safety and efficacy data, which is again during these studies. Then we have regulatory authority approval, and this is the dose patients are expected to take. The next point we have is the prescribed dose. Now, prescribed dose is, everyone knows, prescribed dose is the prescription dose, the dose which is stated by the healthcare professional for a particular patient in the prescription. Now, it may be same as the recommended dose, then it can be lower or higher based on the patient's specific factors like the age of the patient, the kidney function, or anything else. And it is used for the ICSR comparison, dose taken versus dose prescribed. So we have various databases where we have a different section for this dose taken and dose prescribed. Then next we are going to talk about the administered dose or the dose taken. So that is the actual amount of medicine that the patient consumed. Now this is crucial because it helps us to identify if the person took the dose um, as an overdose or as an underdose, or in some methods that is not in the compliance. So this is captured in the drug administration section of ICSRs. The next point is the therapeutic dose. Now, the amount of medicine that is required to achieve the intended medical effect or the therapeutic effect without causing harm. So, for every drug, there has to be a particular amount that is known to induce the required therapeutic effect, and that is what this dose is about. So, it lies within the therapeutic range that it is safe as well as effective. You might have studied about this in pharmacokinetics. wherein we draw a graph regarding the area under cover. We look for the specific concentrations during a particular period of time. So that is what where we get to know the therapeutic dose or the therapeutic range. Then we have maximum recommended dose, which is the highest dose allowed for the safe use as per the product labeling. Taking more than this increases the adverse reaction risks. So there is a specific amount of dose that can be stated as the maximum, the highest that can be used for any kind of safe or effective use, and that too it depends that on the prescriber who is prescribing you the drug. It depends on that particular physician, whatever he recommends you as a maximum recommended dose. You cannot take it by your own. So let's discuss an example of overdose. This is a very simple example and it will help you understand it better. A 45-year-old patient was prescribed 500 mg of pain relief medicine to be taken twice daily. Now, the patient misunderstood the instructions and took 500 mg every 2 hours instead. Now, the patient experienced mild temporary symptoms such as dizziness, nausea, and contacted the doctor. So, what information we have here is the 45-year-old patient. So the prescribed dose was 500 mg, which was to be taken twice daily. That is BID, the frequency of the medicine. Now the patient misunderstood and he took 500 mg every 2 hours instead. So here, what patient did was, this is a kind of an accidental overdose, right? Because person was not aware about this. By just the instructions that were there, he misunderstood and he took 500 mg every 2 hours. And then he experienced the various symptoms like mild temporary symptoms, including dizziness and nausea, and therefore he contacted the doctor. So this is a kind of an overdose case where it was not intentional by the patient, but it happened. Next up, again, we have the interpretation. So the dose taken was much higher than the recommended or the prescribed dose for sure, because 500 mg was the prescribed dose for taking it 2 times in a day, and the patient took 2 hours after every 2 hours. Now the patient experienced mild and temporary symptoms because of that, which is the adverse event, and the doctor identified it as an accidental overdose due to the misunderstanding of dosing schedule. Next, there is one more example, which is accidental overdose due to duplicate medication. Now, a 60-year-old patient was prescribed a blood pressure medicine, one tablet, 10 mg once daily in the morning. Now, patient received two different brands of the same medicine from the pharmacy on different visits. Not realizing they were the same active ingredient, the patient took one tablet from the brand A in the morning, one tablet from the brand B in the evening, and this resulted in patient taking double the intended daily dose. The patient later reported feeling unusually tired and lightheaded and spoke with their doctor. So if we discuss about this thing, then we have a 60-year-old patient. And next up, the patient was taking the drug for BP, which is going to be the indication of the drug that was taken. And there is one tablet, 10 mg once daily. So the patient has to take just 10 mg, that too one time in the morning. So patient, he took different same medicine but from the different brands, and he misunderstood, and therefore this is again the case of accidental overdose, and it happened due to the duplicate medication. And therefore the patient obviously experienced the adverse event of unusual tiredness and lightheadedness. So In simpler terms, I'm going to summarize this for you. Overdose is determined by comparing administered dose versus recommended or prescribed dose. And an overdose occurs when if the dose taken is greater than the recommended dose, or the dose taken is greater than the prescribed dose, or the dose taken is greater than the maximum recommended daily dose. So this is quite evident from the examples that are discussed in this video. Alright, so if you have any queries or you want to reach out to me, you can reach out by this email address, that is focuspharma1@gmail.com. And yes, that's all for today. Thank you so much. I hope you guys liked the video, and do give it a thumbs up and keep watching, keep learning. Thank you.